Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a movie from 2011. That movie is Batman Year One. Now, as many of you know, the big reason why I decided to do an entire month of DC animated films is because the best movie I covered for this series last year was a DC animated film, and that was their adaptation of Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which was based on a comic written by Frank Miller. Batman Year One is also based on a comic by Frank Miller. However, and this is probably going to sound a little bit on the, controversial side, I find Batman Year, 1, at least the comic, to be one of Miller's weakest works. It certainly, though, isn't his by far weakest, but it certainly ranks, down there. And that is partially because compared to everything else that Miller has written, whether it be for Batman or for, say, like Daredevil or Sin City or any of the other things that Miller has written, this one kind of feels dull. It really kind of feels like he wasn't completely, committed to telling Batman's earliest days. Now, I have no idea if they were able to make it better here. They very, very easily could have, and the only way I'm going to find out, guys, if they were able to do anything better with the story, is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Batman Year One. Well, guys, I am totally able to tell you one thing which they kept from the comic when they made it into a film. The pacing here is a little bit glacial. This is not really good. Guys, I honestly can say this much, though, about this movie. Bryan, Cranston is fantastic as James Gordon. That, seriously, guys, is just a damn near perfect casting, choice. I'm really, really liking it. Okay, so Gotham PD just air fucking lifted a bomb and dropped it on a building that Batman is in. I do not remember that from the comic, however, it's been a few years since I last read it. Moreover, why would any U.S. police fucking precinct have giant-ass bombs that they can drop by helicopter into potentially occupied buildings? Wow, that just seemed... that guy's just seemed that seemed incredibly wrong on multiple levels. Alright, guys, you know what? The actor who voices Batman in this thing, he really is good at making Bruce sound like an absolute douche. That was really awesome. Well, guys, that was Batman Year One. Let's shut that off. Okay, I do have to say that it is certainly a little bit, it is a little bit better than the comic it's based on, and that is saying a lot because, as I stated earlier, I personally found Year, One to be probably one of Frank Miller's weaker, outings. It still though ranks very, very low on the list of DC animated films just because the other ones have all been that good, and it really could have been a hell of a lot better. Now, allow me to explain. Let's start with the writing. You would think that a movie that's only an hour and 4 minutes long would be a little bit, better at trying to pace out everything which is going on in the film, but this movie, it kind of sort of struggles at it. It really does. It certainly struggles at trying to tell the story, like the first, half of it or so. Is just a complete waste. Okay, guys, the first half of the film could probably have been told in about 10 minutes. It seriously could have, because there's very, very little going on in the first half hour. Within the first half hour, no, wait, correction, first half hour, you could have told in about half that time. So in about 15 minutes, you could have told it, and we wouldn't have lost anything. Pacing here is rather bad in the first half, but similar to the comic, it totally picks up in the second half when we finally have an actual conflict that's worth caring about, which I think was one of the issues with the book, is that it took them a while to finally get us a, you know, conflict, because it's showing Batman's first year as Batman, as well as Jim Gordon's first year on the Gotham PD. And also similar to the comic, this does spend a lot more time focusing on Gordon, and that's probably for the better, because Gordon's actually got a, you know, story, and Batman doesn't become Batman until March. No, wait. Yeah, March, I believe it said on, you know, screen. So, once more, for the first, like, 20 minutes or so, it's almost all Gordon, and it's just them hammering you over the head again and again that almost everything about Gotham PD is dirty and that it's fucking corrupt. And that is something that you shouldn't need 20 minutes to show us. We basically just needed to see... his partner randomly friggin' rough up teenagers on a street, you know, corner, to know that there is something a little bit sketchy about Gotham PD. Yet, they still wanted to show us more and more instances of it, as if the viewer is incredibly thick. Now, mind you, all of that, though, is still decent because frankly, guys, the whole of the story is still really good. It's just that you have to get through that really poorly paced out first half in order to really get into the meat of the story. So, yeah, guys, writing here is certainly like a little bit questionable, but it still isn't terrible. It's just, it could have been so much better. And even though, guys, I can comment on writing like that, the acting here is stellar from start to finish. The standout has to be Bryan Cranston as Jim, Gordon. He's perfect. And I honestly would like to see more with Cranston as Gordon, and now actually that I'm picturing Cranston in my head, you could probably cast him in a live-action Batman film as Gordon, and he'd probably work out incredibly well. So it's like they cast somebody who seems almost born to play Jim, Gordon. It's really good casting. And because the film focuses more on Gordon than it does Batman, you needed a powerful actor to basically stand in there and keep the story going, and they do that here, and they do it very, very well. So yes, guys, acting here is great from everybody, but Cranston stands out, and he stands out very, very well. And once more, I would really like to see more with... I would like to see more with Cranston as Gordon. I really think that would be just some awesome work there. Art style here is really good. It certainly does look as if it's trying to borrow a couple of elements from the comic it's based on, and it looks really cool because of that. However, this film is also forging its own look, and it looks really good. Art style here looks friggin' awesome. Animation here is really, really fluid. Coloring here is done very, very well. Guys, everything here in terms of animation was awesome. Except, and this is something I'm going to continue to bang on about until DC Comics and Warner Brothers fix it. CG for vehicles here sucks. The very first shot we see is a CG shot of Gotham, which looks really good, and then a CG jet flying overhead, which looks like shit. Every single squad car, every single car on the road looks terrible, because all of them are rendered in this ultra cheap, ultra rushed, really shitty C-fucking-G. It looks bad, guys. And I'm still trying to figure out why the hell don't they just hand animate the fucking cars? Is it seriously that difficult? Because, guys, this right here is what, guys, like the third, maybe fourth film this month when I've had to comment about CG vehicles because they look like shit? It's something that I really wish wasn't here because it's really damaging a film which is otherwise really solid and certainly good. I really don't know what else, guys, to say about, this, but I'm sick and tired of seeing CG cars in what looks to be essentially a cell fucking animated thing. It looks awful, and it stands out so terribly. Why the hell are DC and Warner going out of their way to almost ruin these things with bad CG? And I mean exceptionally bad CG. This guy's is just absolutely unfucking forgivable, and it's probably the biggest sin this film has. And it honestly is a sin that is shared by numerous other DC films I've covered this, month. It's something I really wish that they would either fucking stop or figure out how to fucking do it and make it look right. Because I'm getting really tired of seeing really decent films brought fucking down slightly because nobody knows how to fucking render a friggin' car in CG. A car, a helicopter, or a jet in CG. It's getting really tiresome. I've got one more movie this month, and hopefully it's not going to have any fucking traffic to ruin it. Anyway, guys, beyond that, though, animation is fine. Sound mix here is really, really good. The, music here sets a fantastic tone. Guys, ultimately, I can totally recommend Batman Year, 1, but if you are going to, if you're gonna like marathon DC, animated films, which totally sounds like an awesome thing to do right now. I would either start, with it and just get it fucking over and done with and then move on to the better stuff, or save it, towards the end until you've seen everything else that's vastly better. This one here, guys, is certainly ranking low on the list of DC animated films, but that honestly doesn't, stop it from being certainly a fantastic movie. It is definitely a fun film. I can highly recommend it. But if you haven't watched any other like DC animated works yet, especially the Batman ones, I would say by all means go and watch like Red Hood, or certainly go watch The Dark Knight Returns. Those two are certainly better than this. However, though, if you can find this thing like cheaply, I'm talking like $10 or less, by all means pick it up. It is totally worth $10, Now, as has been the way with almost every movie this month, this thing here's got a couple of bonus features. Mainly, it has 2 episodes of Batman, and it has a Catwoman short, film on here. I'm going to go and watch those, and I will see you guys next time. So yeah, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace. My God, guys, I feel like complete shit. I absolutely forgot about the shout-out. I am so sorry. Batman Year 1 came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Robert, and please, guys, by all means, go out and check out Robert's, I believe it is Robert's Amazon profile, where he's written up reviews on tons of different things. Robert, dude, I thank you, because I honestly had no idea if this thing was going to be as good, especially since I wasn't a big fan of the comic it's based on, and I wouldn't have known if this thing was any good if you hadn't sent it in, and for that, I thank you. Wow, I cannot believe I forgot about that. Robert, dude, I am so fucking sorry, man. I seriously feel like a massive bag of shit right now. Anyway, guys, once more with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.